huge welcome to everybody joining us out here. Ski Mountaineering making its historic first ever World Cup stop on U.S. snow. It's exciting stuff, bringing out one of the most demanding mountain sports into the national spotlight as it prepares for the Olympic debut in Milan 2026. Welcome to Solitude Mountain, a rare gem in the Wasatch. And today it's all about the ISMF World Cup of SkiMo and the mixed relay taking center stage. I'm joined by Nikki La Rochelle, a U.S. national team member in the past and also a commentator for the upcoming Olympics. Nikki, here we are. We've been waiting for this for a couple of days, and it is go time.
Absolutely. We've been waiting, and we're here. Finally is the day of the mixed relay. And we were worried about the snow situation, but in fact, it dumped snow last night.
And you know what they say, if you want it to snow, schedule a competition, and you're going to get some snow. And we got a lot, but you got to give a lot of credit to everybody working out here at Solitude to clean things up, the course workers, and the teams are getting fired up because mixed relay is all about the teams, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. We just had the qualifiers, and we got results for those. But yes, this is a team event to be sure.
Now, as a former national team member, do you feel a little bit more confident sitting in the booth or being out there working your tush off?
Oh, I am so happy to be in this little warm tent and not racing. It is far too stressful to be a racer, so happy to be here.
So let's talk about the mixed relay. How does it break down? Is it two on a team? Is it man and woman? How does it break down for the relay?
We've got teams of two, one man, one woman, and they each do 2 laps. So the women start, and the men follows, and they go through the course twice each. So 4 laps total.
So the women go through, and they do their 2 laps. They tag their counterpart. The men go up, they do their 2 laps. They come down, tag the women, they go back up. They come down after. Oh, this is like a 3-hour show.
You would think it would be 3 hours.
What the heck? How do we get through though?
You would think it would be 3 hours, but they're fast. So it's more around 7 to 10 minutes per lap and about, 45 minutes total.
How do you pace yourself in something such as this? And how do you not just get into your head that I gotta go, and work too hard? Well, before we get to that, let's talk about, of course, what this course is all about. Let's break it down and show you what it's all about for your mixed relay.
And here is a rundown of the mixed relay. We just hit on this, but if you haven't watched one before, we've got teams of 2 competing, 1 man and 1 woman from the same nation. The woman starts first in a mass start with the other women and head out to complete their first lap. That lap includes 2 climbs, 2 descents, with a foot part on the second climb. After the women complete their first lap, they tag their partner in the handoff zone towards the bottom of the course, and then it's their partner's turn to go. After each teammate has completed a lap, they both do it all again, so a team will complete 4 laps in total, 2 by each teammate. Typically, a lap takes, just as I mentioned, 7 to 10 minutes, but can vary depending on the course.
So that's a pretty easy breakdown. It makes it sound easy. Well, let's take a look at this up because this is the final start list for Final B. We have a Final A will be after this, but these competitors are trying to throw down and get their positions in place, right?
That's right, Final B. So we've got 12 teams in Final A, 12 teams in Final B, based off the qualifying times. For the women, just so people want to know.
What are the fast times that we saw for qualifying earlier today?
Yeah, so for the women, Alma de Silvestro put up the fastest time, then Tove Alexandersson of Sweden, Anna Gibson of the USA.
But how far are these off? Are they off by, is it 2 minutes? Is it a minute off, like 1 and 2?
Oh no, they're within a few seconds. So Tove 3 seconds behind Alba, Anna Gibson, 3rd place, 8:38 on that qualifying time. Julia Murata was 4th, 8:39, and T. Dissan of Switzerland was 8:41.
And so does that trend, you look at the seating time and they're going, at 30-second intervals for seating? Is that how that works?
That's right. It's a time trial format, so they go out and put down, some people temper their effort, others don't. They have to really gun it to even get it in a final. So, and just just to hit on the men's, we've got Cameron Smith of the USA put up the fastest time. Then John Kissler of Switzerland, second fastest time. Third fastest time was Griffin Briley of the USA. Fourth, Arno Lieta of Switzerland. And then fifth fastest time was Niccolo Canquini of Italy.
And now we also talk about the fastest not only being the first time that ISMF have been World Cup in the U.S. snow. So this is the first time, but there's also one last quota position for the Olympic Games. Tell me a little bit about that, how that breaks down.
So there's actually two spots on the line. There's the continental quota that basically gets allocated to the Americas. So the battle is between Canada and the USA. They're 1 point apart in the standings, which simply means whoever wins today gets that continental quota spot.
So wait, don't go too far. So that means they go to the Olympics.
That's right.
So today we could see something where someone has punched their ticket to the Olympic Games from competition today.
That's correct. One thing that's important to note is that athletes don't earn entry into the Olympics. They earn a quota spot for their nation, and then it's up to the national committee to determine what athlete goes on behalf of that nation.
The national committee for that particular country.
That's right.
So, and that's much like a coach's decision too as well. They can pick who they want to fill that quota spot afterwards. Is that what you're saying?
That's right, yes. So they're really earning quota spots today. The other storyline is...
But wait a minute. If you do good and you earn a quota spot, and let's say you have one of the fastest time, how are you not picked by the nation to represent?
You know, often in these cases, the athlete who earns the quota spot can go or will go, but it's not totally clear. Some of these nations that have so many skilled athletes, they're really battling internally to see what athletes actually get to go to the Olympics.
Well, final preparation is in order right now. With those quota spots. And then the first time, how come this is the first time it would be on U.S. snow and it hasn't happened before?
You know, that's a great question.
Did I get you on that one?
No. You know, the ISMF was established in 2008, so it's been quite some time that, you know, many years have gone by and we've never had hosted a World Cup here in the U.S., so it's thrilling to have it here. And the ISMF really wants to expand where World Cups happen. Here we are. Here's our competitors. That's Jesse Young and John Gaston of the USA.
Representing the U.S. as we have our athletes marching in now to show you who will be competing in this B. You can hear our on-site announcer introducing you to all the competitors as they make their way in. Team China representing here in the final B. 12 teams. And our Norwegian competitors as they enter into the field of play for an amazing day of your ISMF World Cup. Team Canada, very important for them today, much like the USA.
There's our Canadians, Kylie Toth and Matt Ruda.
You think they're like going at each other? Like, hey, we're going to get the quota.
Good question. I mean, those Canadians are so nice. Hard to imagine them being fierce in that way, but they are fierce competitors. That's true.
And our next competitors coming out here. This is the athlete introduction part as we get into things here. The ISMF World Cup. First ever stop in North America. Battle for the quota spots are up for grabs.
Thank you.
With a 1-point lead, very important day. And
Just stop the music.
3 hours, we'll know who is going to get that quota spot.
Okay.
What country.
Right. This is the final B. So the final A will determine the quota spot,
Exactly.
but this still
Okay,
so fun to
here
watch
is
the final B.
Final B. Some teams not competing.
Because this also could be
Julia
future
Morata,
competitors
Nicola
that make it
Fendini.
into an A final
For Italy,
down the road with more World Cups, right?
Yeah, the way the mixed relay is designed is to create greater representation of all the nations. So
Ooh, nice.
only one team per nation can make the A final, and 2 teams per nation can make the B final. So we get to see a lot of countries that might not otherwise make make a final to
so ready
they get
we
to race
are?
today.
Yeah, in USA, of course, 2 teams here in
No,
the B.
not yet. And
Italy
we will.
also with 2.
And
China with 2 as
So
well.
you guys,
Yep.
are you ready?
Here we go.
And the supporters, are you ready?
Athletes stack
Once
and
more,
rack.
are you ready? Perfect. So just waiting for the jury president. If everything is ready, he's also
See
the
this
bar
mixed relay
operator,
here,
so
so
we have that to check if everything in the transition
Women
area
start
is
things off, the
good
men
and correct.
on the row
But we'll
behind.
just go in
After
this,
the 2 laps,
just a little
they will be
bit
tagged
far away from
to
the.
do their thing.
Okay. So we will have 12 teams in this final B. Everything is okay, Monica? We can go? Okay.
So I think
we
we're
can
getting
go.
the thumbs
So
up
we can
here down
ask,
from our
music,
starters.
to be stopped. Thank
The
you.
B final, the ISMF World
Get
Cup
ready.
here at Solitude Mountain Resort.
Take your mark. Set.
It is go time. Here we go.
And we can put some
All 12 athletes on course right now for the women's side here.
we had a start.
It is the mixed
of
relay,
the
our
continent.
first.
Oh, no. And to clarify, within 1 lap are 2 climbs. We've already talked about this, but just to remind everyone, we've got 2 climbs, and on that second climb is the foot part. So it's not a sprint. We'll sprint tomorrow, but today it is, here's Jessie Young, I believe, leading this B final of the United States. But yeah, it's not a sprint. They've got to pace themselves and be strategic with how they temper their effort. And that looks like Haley Hafman of the U.S. in second place. Gotta love this drone shot. So cool.
And such an amazing setup too. The course workers have really had their work cut out for them. You look at, it was almost, I don't know how much snow we had last night, but this course was virtually buried. It had to be dug out and be prepared for today. So big props to everybody out here at Solitude. Big props to ISFM, our course workers, as we see our leaders right now in the front. But 2 laps, still a lot to go. As you can see those Canadian flags representing out here.
Oh yeah, good fans. Yeah, the LOC, local organizing committee, put a lot of effort in this morning, all week really, as well as the ISMF. Such teamwork here just to make sure this happens.
Well, they say it takes teamwork to make the dream work. And when you got up this morning and saw how snowy it was here, we were wondering, will there be a competition? And this answers the question right now. It is underway.
Haley Hafman, really, I haven't seen her lead a race like this, so this is really exciting for her to be out front. We'll see, back to your point about the pacing, she might be going out a little hot, but hard to say at this point.
I mean, I'm going to have to refer to you on this. As a former competitor, what was your pacing? Did you have to tell yourself when you come out, like, hey, don't get caught up in the mix, keep doing what you're doing? How do you talk to yourself in situations like this?
Well, Brad, I'm old, and the mixed relay didn't debut on the World Cup circuit until 2022, and I was retired then. So I didn't get to do the mixed relay, but I'm sure this race is tough to pace for.
But but even if it's not mixed relay, just pacing yourself for any one of these events out here, how do you adjust yourself not to get too fired up in the start area?
Great thought. I'm not sure I ever did a good job at that. But
Is that why you're sitting in the booth
That's
now?
why,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I've moved on to other endeavors. That's right. So here they are in the first transition. They'll rip skins and ski down their first
Explain
descent.
that to someone who doesn't understand what a rip skin is.
So a skin is basically, think of a long strip like a piece of carpet that sticks to the base of their skins. They rip those off. That helps them, have traction uphill. They take those off when they ski downhill, and that's basically a transition. These athletes are so dialed in, they can do those in a matter of seconds, 5 seconds maybe.
And now they go to the downhill section on this one. And I'll tell you, with this, you can see the overtake right there. But with the amount of extra snow out here and how light these skis are and a lot of extra little chunder that's on this course, it's really difficult. And the more grooves that get cuts out, it makes it harder and harder to keep close to those gates.
This descent is tough. It's tougher than it might look at the moment, but we got this bumped out sort of undulating section down here at the bottom.
And then back into the next transition section here.
Yep, so skins back on. This is this transition takes the longest of any of them, but as you can see, they're very dialed.
She's very dialed there. That was the first one, was perfect. No mistakes. You don't want to have, even the slightest mistake can take you out.
Oh, it's true. Any hesitation, any slight, mistake can cost you seconds, and that can cost you a race. Here's Jessie Young out front. Jessie, mama too. She's got 2 little boys at home. They're here today cheering her on. Very fun to see that.
So she's got to feel good about that. The transitions were solid. No bobbles, no mistakes there.
Yep, now they're in the diamond section. This is an area that's difficult to pass, but they're fairly spread out at the moment. That looks like Claudia Miałowska of Poland in 3rd place.
In a very young race right now, because this is going, they're going to have 2 laps. So they do 2 laps here on the course, and the men take to 2, then back to the women, and back to the men. So it's a very long race.
That's right.
She's smiling.
Is she smiling or grimacing?
Okay.
I can't tell. Maybe somewhere in between. She's approaching the foot part, so this is when she'll put skis on her backpack and head up on foot through. That is delineated by that yellow flagging.
So yellow flagging, that is the foot part, right? Correct?
That's right, yep.
So that means something. When you see the green, you go to the yellow. So if it's the first time watching SkiMo, Nikki's going to break it down for you.
Yeah, green is uphill with skins on. Yellow means, on the foot part, skis on the backpack, and red is descending. This is a natural boot pack, or foot part. So sometimes we see actual staircases, like at the Bormio test event. But in this case, this is a natural boot pack, which is a bit more exhausting. You can see there's 5 tracks that athletes can choose from, but it will likely develop that just 1 or 2 get really trekked out.
Well, yeah, I mean, add the snow overnight to it too. Well, that's going to put a lot of slough in there. That's going to make it harder. So the boot sections, like if you didn't get the snow overnight, those aren't going to be as hard as they are today. That's for sure.
Here we see Jessie Young still leading for the USA, and I believe Haley Hafman in 2nd also for the USA. Jessie Young at the top part of the course. She'll ski down, do 1 more transition, then ski to the handoff zone to tag her partner, John Gaston.
So she's keeping a solid pace right there. She now attempts the 2nd ascent here in the first lap for the women.
And it looks like Pumu Ani of China just passed Haley Hafman, so now we've got a Chinese athlete in 2nd place.
And now when we talk about the Chinese athletes, they're relatively coming in on heaters. They're coming in solid now. And it's not only this, it's snow sports across the line. Team China, Team Japan really showing up, especially also seeing it in SkiMo as well.
Absolutely. They're known for just how truly meticulous they are. They practice transitions religiously, so they're very dialed in and an up-and-coming nation in the sport.
And you got the gates. You can really see how the grooves and the ruts develop. I mean, there's been a lot of qualifying times were done on this very course, so that's what's been going on. So it makes it a little bit more difficult, and that's the thing. You don't want to have a mistake in the downhill.
No, definitely not. Here we see at the front of our screen, Kylie Toth of Canada.
So 8 minutes and 42 seconds into this, the B final on course.
Here's John Gaston in the handoff zone. So this is where Jesse, who's leading, will tag John Gaston so he can start his lap. And there's Griffin Briley prepping to be tagged off by Haley Hafman.
And now on the tag, it's any part of the body, just can't touch poles, right?
That's right. Any part of the back body or the backpack. There goes John. He's on it.
And so now when I see the backpacks, I see these backpacks look pretty full. What's going on with that? Is it a charcuterie board in there? Do they have some red wine for the top of the hill? What's going on with the full backpacks? I don't see them opening them.
Yeah, picnics are high priority for these athletes. No, actually, there's really nothing in their packs. Often athletes use something like a balloon even to create volume in the pack to help the skis stay on their pack, on the boot pack. So they might look full of charcuterie, but that is not the case.
That's how I would do it.
Me too.
Maybe a couple of coldies in there as well. So first time here on U.S. snow, your ISMF World Cup here in Solitude. And of course, Utah will be having another Winter Olympics here.
You know, people might be wondering, who are fans of the sport, why we don't see a team from Spain or France. They chose not to enter any mixed relay today. What we understand is that they are saving their energy for the sprint tomorrow. They have to make a lot of internal decisions about who would go to the Olympics. So I believe all those athletes are saving their energy for an Olympic bid within their federation.
So that's hence, we don't know that for sure. We're speculating.
We are speculating, but I think on good authority that is the reason why.
Yeah. And that, I mean, it sounds logical too. But you were talking about quota spots. I want to bring that up again. If you're looking at quota spots and you're looking at if the U.S. is trying to get the final quota spots to get in, and the coaches the nation can pick who they want. If you're the fastest guy or the fastest girl and you've earned those quota spots, don't you think they would be automatic to make it in and represent? Or it's not necessarily automatic until the nation makes their decision?
In some cases, the athletes that would go are very obvious, but not always. You know, their form changes. Sometimes their fitness increases or decreases. So they're really trying to be diligent about knowing who is the fittest as close as, you know, when February rolls around, who is the fittest and who's proving themselves to be the best within their federation.
And you're also talking about the fact that we have not seen, like, mixed relay is relatively new to SkiMo. Why was mixed relay added to it? Just because the country battle, or what do you think goes into that decision?
I believe the Olympics was a primary driver, you know, something that's viewer friendly, accessible, that would work well for the Olympics. So they've had, you know, the ISMF and SkiMo in general have had their eye on the Olympics for quite some time. So this format works really well in that case.
And with the upcoming next two Winter Olympics after Milano, SkiMo looks to, I mean, it's not official, but SkiMo looks to be in the next three Olympics is how it's looking.
I think so. The French Alps in 2030, Salt Lake in 2034. So
yeah. Salt Lake once again getting the Olympics again after having it in 2002. Keeping it nice and close to those gates on the way down. Want to stay out of those grooves.
There's John Gaston off on his second ascent.
Gaston through the diamonds. Solid crowd on hand.
Yeah, we've got a great crowd out here. Lots of cheering. There's a strong youth contingent here in Utah of young SkiMo racers, and they are all out here today cheering. It's very fun watching their heroes.
We got to see them too as well in the parade too as well. So it's opening ceremonies.
John Gaston, also a dad, 3 kids at home from Aspen, Colorado. He is a staple in U.S. ski mountaineering. Fun to see him here in the B final.
It's funny, right when you said that, we started hearing everybody, "Go, John! Go, John!"
He's got a lot of fans here. It's fun to see.
So does USA feel a little bit of a pressure? So the final quota spots, does Team Canada feel this pressure on this one?
They are both feeling the pressure. With 1 point apart, it's anyone's game, really. The U.S. did put up slightly faster times in the qualifier, but that doesn't necessarily mean they would perform in the A final.
Well, you can really see the boot section here, or the foot section. Look how much snow that they have to navigate through.
Yeah.
So it's hard to get a solid cadence in there because you're moving all over the place. And if you had the stairs, which we've seen in other World Cups, I think that would have been much even harder with the fresh snow on that.
Yeah, that could be.
So watch the technique here. Boom, perfect. Clicks in, and he's off to the races. Or he's actually in the race. So he's off to racing.
Yeah, just a rule. Athletes have to lay down one or both
poles, right?
Yep, that's the first thing they have to do, and then the last thing they have to do in a transition so they don't get a penalty.
And there's 2 penalties that you can end up having. I think there's, 30-second or a 3-second, did we hear yesterday?
Yeah, well, there's a number of things you can get penalized for, but certainly transitioning correctly is a big one. They have to stow their skins. They can't be sticking out of their suit, for example, like we're seeing now. They've got that big kangaroo pocket to put discarded skins into.
And that's changed over the years, too. They've kind of adjusted that. The quickest way to get the skins back in. Look at John Solid here through the gates, keeping it nice and tight. Solid commanding lead. Team USA here in the B final. And 2 out of 4 on the second summit. On the men's side, you can see the transition area right there.
And here we have Jessie Young again, starting her second of 2 climbs, 2 laps.
And now she gets ready because you can see John making his way towards her. Watch for the touch. There's the touch. Count it. Handover 2 is complete for Team USA. Once again here in the B final, which you will see.
Katia Mascarona of Italy.
USA
Deborah Marty of Switzerland, racing now.
Switzerland, the number 2 spot. USA 1 and 3 here in the B final.
As for this course, the first climb, if people are interested, 80 meters in elevation gain. Second climb, 58 meters. We've got a high point of 2,580 meters. So this course is high.
So Italy in that 4 spot right now. 18 minutes. Crowd getting into it big time. ISMF World Cup. Solitude. And making its debut in the Olympic Games.
Really fun to see Romania here racing. That's a rarity to see them in a B final, but very cool to see that type of representation.
So much enthusiasm from the fans, getting behind all the athletes, encouraging them all the way through, almost to the 20-minute mark here. The A final will be coming up after this. Thanks for joining us around the world. Your ISMF World Cup. First time in the U.S. with its Olympic debut, easy for me to say, coming up in February. I think the last 2 days of the Olympic Winter Games, SkiMo will take center stage.
Here we see Jessie Young. You can see how she's looking a bit tired. You know, she's really giving it her all, and she's making her way through her second lap, and she's tired, you know, and she's pushing hard, but this race is so fatiguing. I mean, these athletes are so maxed.
And we also have to bring up the fact that the height, it's almost 2,500 meters, isn't it?
That's right. The Solitude base is 2,435 meters. The next highest World Cup venue would be Boitol at 2,020 meters. And the average of a World Cup venue is more around 1,500 meters. So these athletes are, you know, racing at a height they're not used to, and they've prepped the best they can for that by doing, you know, high altitude training camps with their federations. But yeah, this is high.
And so you got to train in that.
Yeah.
And I know, remembering back in the 2002 Olympic Games in Salt Lake, a lot of athletes came out early to be able to train in this altitude, to be able to put on what they can do when it comes to showtime. So USA 1 and 2 right now, with Switzerland in the third spot.
A lot of these federations have new uniforms, so it's harder to identify who's who. You know, if you've grown accustomed to recognizing people by their uniform, we're having to reset here at the first World Cup.
Do we not refer to them as kits?
Oh, you could say kit.
Because I'm always a kit guy. Like, I like the new kits out there.
You know, we're not too stringent here in the SkiMo community, so you say what you want, Brad.
Did he say kit? Or did he say wardrobe or uniform?
Spandex.
Yeah.
Lycra.
And you would say you would be cold, but not as much action as you look at her. Yeah.
Yeah, Jessie is.
And you gotta have cadence with your breath too. I mean, when you're climbing, you gotta just keep that. It's like, because if you're laboring to get up it, it's going to be even harder, and you're going to use energy that you don't want to use.
That's true. And here's Haley Hafman in second. You know, I think trying to catch Jessie Young here.
USA 1 and 2, Switzerland 3 here in your B final.
That's Deborah Marty in third.
So Switzerland and Deborah Marty holding down the third spot. USA 1 and 2.
looked to be Katia Mascarona of Italy in fourth.
USA showing solid skills here in the B final with the top 2 spots.
The other Olympic storyline is Sweden and Poland. They're only 2 points apart. So whoever prevails there will get that general ranking quota spot. That's not happening in this B final, but
No.
it will be interesting.
That's when we get to the A final, when all the decision making starts happening.
So really pushing here. These girls know they've got just a short climb, then their final descent and one last transition to tag off to their partner, and then they're done for the day.
And they're probably pretty happy about that.
Yeah, they're tired, but, you know, so happy to be here racing and representing their nation.
And doing a heck of a good job at it, too, as well.
Brad, you were asking me yesterday about the weight of their gear. So their boots, you know, for those who haven't worn this lightweight SkiMo gear, boots weigh about the same as a running shoe, which is wild to think. Or
Wait, just an average running shoe, that's what a boot's going to weigh.
Yeah, or a can of soup if people need that reference. You know, and the ski is similar to a cross-country ski, about the weight of like a heavy smartphone.
And
so quite light.
And that's, when you look at that and you look at the size, you look at the weight, and then you start comparing that in snowy conditions, that's harder to deal with.
Oh, to be sure.
Yeah.
The downhill especially is so challenging on this gear, but these athletes make it look easy.
Yeah, look at the ruts developing big time on those gates.
So we've got USA 1-2 entering the handoff zone for their male counterpart to ski that last lap.
And you know the feeling you probably have right now is pretty darn good. You're done.
Yes. They want to make sure they nail this transition and then a very short distance to the handoff zone.
Look at that, both team members on the men's side for Team USA.
That's John Gaston and Griffin Briley. He's only 20 years old. He's an up-and-coming star for USA SkiMo.
20 years old. What were you doing at 20, Nikki?
I was just watching TV. You know, not much else.
Here we go, the transition. They're done. The tag, the handover. Here we go. USA large and in charge, 1 and 2. And opening up quite the lead. Italy getting after it in that number 3 spot. Switzerland bumped down to 4. The final be underway. 27 and 20 minutes so far kicking off. The A final coming up later. We'll be handing out the hardware. Thanks for joining us. And not to say anything negative about Team USA, but they're not as good as some of the other teams. Wait, aren't there some teams that are like the juggernaut and USA is not in the top echelons?
That's right. You know, the three dominating nations are France, Spain, and Switzerland. We do see John Kissler back and forth. You know, he's one of the best out there. 22 years old. You know, he almost exclusively raced sprints. Very good at the mixed relay. Currently ranked second in the sprint. A young and rising star for Switzerland.
And Switzerland into fourth in this one. China in fifth. Poland in sixth. Welcome everybody joining us. ISMF World Cup here. Solitude Mountain. Utah, the state of sport. As SkiMo makes its debut on USA snow. So 12 teams here in the B final. USA having 2, Italy having 2, China having 2. And there we go, still USA 1 and 2.
We were worried the drone wouldn't be an option today, but it's so great to see it. We get great shots with that. It's not snowing as heavily as anticipated, so nice to get those views for sure.
Yeah, and it was near whiteout this morning around 9 a.m. So there was a big question mark. Fast into the transition right there.
Here's John Gaston putting skins on. He'll start his second climb here in a moment. He knows he's in first. He doesn't want to lose that, especially, you know, to the young 20-year-old, eh?
And you do not want to make a mistake. You could have the biggest lead and just drop a skin or something goes wrong, and that just takes you out of the mix. But John's a veteran at this, right?
He is. He's very experienced, well-established, you know, really set the tone in the U.S. a few years ago. One of the first to come out and race World Cups in Europe. So I'd say he's been an instrumental force in U.S. ski mountaineering. So very fun to see him racing today.
And you and I were catching up with some of the USA athletes, and they're like, their pouches are differently designed every year. They're trying to just really fine-tune them. Is that what's going on with those pouches?
Yeah, I think with the mixed relay being relatively new, we're still in this state of evolution. You know, the USA, frankly, copying what Switzerland was doing with their suits and that kangaroo pocket. So, you know, a rising tide lifts all ships, and these nations helping each other as the sport progresses.
Oh, yeah, it's no secret. You can learn off what someone else is doing right. Look how quick this is. Puts them in.
This is quite the battle. We'll see who prevails. The winner here winning the B final. So,
you know your legs are burning right now.
Yeah, the boot pack especially can feel really demanding. It's a different, you know, locomotion, and it's quite intensive, really demanding.
You can hear everybody firing them up. Team USA 1 and 2 here in the B final. Oh, little trouble right there getting that out. That might cost them a little time for John. Let's see. Are they going to come out at the same time here? Oh, look at this.
Oh, pass by Griffin Briley.
Just that smallest little tiny bobble.
That's right. This is SkiMo at its finest.
Yeah. That's why opening up the biggest lead that you can to give you that room.
Oh, look, Griffin's really laying it down
Oh,
here.
he
He knows
sure
he's
is.
just got that descent and then one more transition.
Let's watch him here. There's 1, 2. Stuff him in.
He's in his home crowd. This is his
Yeah.
home ski course. You know, he's from the Salt Lake City area, so this is so fun for him to perform.
Slight advantage. Would you give him a slight advantage because of that?
Oh, sure, sure.
Yeah.
He's
Homestead.
fired up.
Look at the turns, too. Staying tight to the gates.
Griffin won.
A little air on the way in. Griffin's feeling it.
Oh, he put in a fairly big gap here on John.
Wow.
So Griffin will transition here and then ski to the finish. He's very close to wrapping up this B final.
And John comes in right next to him.
Here he goes.
There's Griff right there. Look at this. Here we go. Crossing the line, the #1 spot, Team USA.
Way to go, Griffin Briley.
Griffin Briley,
Teamed
solid.
with Haley Hafman. Nice work. Oh, there's
Oh,
John.
look at this. Look at this at the end. I think John's going to take in second. Switzerland making a run for it in third. Wow. Look
John
at the
Kissler.
difference. 15.6 to 16.0 between second and third.
He put the heat on right at the end, no doubt.
Future looks bright for Team USA. And here's Team Poland.
Echo is the echo.
And Team China now. Once again, the B final, A final coming up. Congratulations to all the competitors out there. Switzerland 3, Italy 4.
That was Katia Mascarona and Luca Tomasoli of Italy, we just saw on the screen, in 4th place.
And there's the time, 34.21 and some change right there. 15.6 seconds off the top pace for USA in the second spot. And Switzerland 16 off the #1 spot. And here we go. Poland checking in the #5 spot. So Team Poland, top 5 here in the B final. That looks to be China checking in 6. So Team China, 6th place. And Norway in 7th. Sweden's going to come in 8th. 237.6 off the top time for Team USA.
You know, Griffin Briley, who won this race, he, as mentioned, 20 years old, won 3
20.
gold medals at the World Championship last year in Morjan. He is really an up-and-coming star. It will be so fun to watch him in the next coming years and fun to watch him now.
Yeah, and you look at it too, like if there is, you got Olympics with SkiMo and the next 2 more Olympics after that with SkiMo, I mean, he's going to be under 30 still.
Yeah.
And the kid could have 3 Olympics under his belt for Team USA. Slovakia checking in the number 9 spot, 349.9 off the top time. Team USA, 34.21.
There we see Matt Ruda for Canada coming in.
So Canada and Slovakia, showing them both in the 9 spot. And China, the second team for China, into 11th.
And there we see Romania. How great is that, Romania? Happy to see them here in this final B.
The more countries represent is what you want to see. And to have Romania in is a big thing.
Historically, a lot of the World Cup venues have been in Europe, but they are, as mentioned, ISMF looking to expand, trying to find new nations, new places, truly trying to become an international federation, managing this sport and wanting to see World Cups all over the place. So having it here in the U.S. is a big stride in that effort.
And here we go, the final descent here for Romania.
Oh, spread eagle off the jump. That could be my favorite thing I've seen today. Nicely done.
Putting a little mustard on the hot dog right there.
You know, for those who are confused about Olympic qualification, you're not alone. There's 4 ways a nation can qualify for the Olympics in the mixed relay. The first way being if they are the host nation, that is Italy, so they automatically get a quota spot. The second way is through the World Championships. So last year, the top 2 nations who placed first and second in the World Championships earn a quota spot. That would be France and Spain. The third way is through what's called a continental quota. We've talked about that a little bit. That's for the Americas, Asia, and Oceania. So China has locked in that Asia quota spot. Australia has secured the Oceania quota spot. And so the battle for the Americas quota spot is between Canada and the U.S.
Okay, so that's one. Is there another battle too? Weren't you saying there's another battle?
Yes, the last battle is through the fourth way you can earn a spot. That is through the general relay ranking list. I'll read those nations now. We've got Switzerland, Austria, Germany, Norway, Slovakia, and then for that last spot, it is a battle between Poland and Sweden, only 2 points apart. So that will be the final quota spot allocated today. That was a fun B final.
That was really fun. And it's awesome. It's nice to see, being the fact that it's the first World Cup in the U.S., to see a couple Americans, or 4 Americans, in the top 2 spots. The team that's not the strongest in SkiMo, but showing you they can be, and they're going to be in the future.
Absolutely. And, you know, coming off the summer, you never quite know what form athletes are in. They've all trained differently, biking, roller skiing, finding snow in the summer. They're all doing different things, but this first World Cup is really a test piece to see what form these athletes are in.
So we'll take a look at the sights and sounds here of the B final, and we'll be getting underway in the A final. That'll be coming up in a little bit. And welcome everybody joining us out here, ISMF World Cup here, Solitude Mountain. Appreciate everybody watching all over the world. And a beautiful day out here. All the action happening at Solitude Mountain. The first time ever ISMF World Cup has made it to the USA on U.S. soil. And mixed relay race, we saw final B. Now we're getting into final A. And a lot is riding on this one. Brad J. joined by Nikki LaRochelle. And I'll tell you what, this is it. This is when it comes down to it. We've been waiting for it.
This is it. I'm feeling the nerves for sure. This is a big deal. Quota spot on the line for U.S. versus Canada, Poland versus Sweden. This is happening right now. Final A of the mixed relay in Solitude, Utah. We're up high at elevation. The weather cleared, though. We're happy about that. It was dumping snow earlier this morning. Happy we can see using the drones. It's just nice to get this great footage and watch this race. I mean, these athletes have been waiting for this all summer, all fall.
And you can see right there the competition data that we have on the mixed relay race. Your start altitude at 2,500 meters, elevation gain 14, top altitude 2580 on the meters, and that big old elevation gain as well. So a lot to navigate.
Sarah Cookler, our local organizing committee race director, former U.S. national team athlete. Got our jury president here from the ISMF. Putting on a World Cup, it is a lot.
It's not easy.
It is not easy. It takes a multitude of people, volunteers, organizers. Look at that course.
What a beautiful course. And you look at how it lays out. And it's going to be so awesome when you see this take stage out in the Olympics in 2026 in February.
And you know, France and Spain not entering a mixed relay team, it's really anyone's race here at this A final to see who could win. Those are, you know, two of the three best nations in the mixed relay. They're choosing to rest their athletes for the sprint to make internal decisions, as far as we understand, about who would actually go to Milano Cortina. They've both these nations have earned the max quota spots. They've each sending 2 men and 2 women. So they're all set on their quotas, now just determining who gets to go.
Is it to take it easy on the athletes because it's going to be a long season? There's more World Cups. There's the Olympics on hand. Is that, you think, maybe like, you know what, let's give them a little bit of a break because we've already earned our spots? You
know, I think it's that these athletes individually want to go to the Olympics and they want to do their best sprint tomorrow.
Well, let's break it down and show you what it's all about for the mixed relay. This will keep you up close and personal to how it all breaks down.
Yes, if you have not watched a mixed relay before, here it is. Teams of 2 are competing, 1 man and one woman from the same nation. The women start first in a mass start. With the other women, they head out to complete their first lap. That lap includes 2 climbs, 2 descents, with a foot part on the second climb. After the women complete their first lap, they tag their partner in the handoff zone, which is towards the bottom of the course, and then it is their partner's turn to go. After each teammate has completed a lap, they both do it again. So a team will complete 4 laps in total, 2 by each teammate. Typically a lap takes about 7 to 10 minutes. That's what we're seeing today, but it, of course, can vary depending on the course.
I don't know about those feet. They seem really small on those graphics. They seem like they're size 2 or something like that.
That's true. It's hard to imagine they would be good skiers, but
that's to not show the muscle tone of those legs.
That's
right. Sure. So bringing it up close and personal to the athletes here in the A final. Team China.
That was Gongsong Lingla and Sulan Chujen.
Probably the hardest names to pronounce.
Yes, Japan here in the final. That's great to see. These are our top 12 nations competing in the A final. We've got Slovakia, Japan, Slovenia, China, Poland, Canada, Germany, Sweden, Norway, Switzerland, Italy, and the USA.
How important is this race right here for Team Canada and Team USA?
It's everything. Same with Poland and Sweden. This is everything. This is everything they've been working for. I thought of them last night when I was going to bed, thinking they probably couldn't sleep. I mean, just so much riding on this one effort for these teams.
And you know a lot of these athletes personally, right?
I know a few of them. Again, remember, Brad, I'm old, but I do know.
I don't like when you say that, Nikki.
I'm middle-aged.
Because I'm much older than you, so when you say you're old.
We're both old.
Yeah.
You know, a fun storyline here. Well, I like SkiMo romance, and we've got Alba de Silvestro and Michele Boscacci, a married couple, doing the mixed relay together. Is there anything more heartwarming than a married couple racing SkiMo? I don't think so.
And how do they get along still after that? They're married and they're working together.
Yes. I think they're buddies.
Yeah.
I think they get along just fine. Fun to watch them here today.
My wife would call me out on that one. So here's a look at your start list for Final A. All the teams represented. And it's, like you said, like our good friend Katie has said too, it's all to play for right now.
Yes, for those of you who are missing our dear beloved commentator Katie Friend and Maria Moreau, don't worry, you will see them a bit later in the season, so fret not. We've got a good team of commentators here at working with the ISMF. And there's Christine Cavanier, our on-site commentator. She is fantastic. Speaks 5 languages, I just learned.
She is amazing. So here we go. Quiet on the start. The A final. This is everything to play for right now. Here we go. We are racing. It is underway, the A final. Who's going to earn the spots? Let's go. So you see the nice tight group here. You'll kind of see them fall into single line when they start to get where they want to be.
That's Tatiana Poller of Germany, just out slightly ahead of everybody. Anna Gibson of the U.S. She's a fun storyline. Brand new to SkiMo. This is, in fact, her first. I believe she's in her mid to late 20s, but this is her first World Cup ever. She just started this sport. You know, got into it in the summer. She's a trail runner, an internationally ranked trail runner. So diving in for Team USA. And then we see Alba de Silvestro and Tove Alexandersson from Sweden on Looker's left here. They're all quite tight. Look at this pack.
Oh, nice move right there.
Looks like Tove's starting to pull ahead in front.
Said, move on over, rookie. I could get in this.
Tove also one of the most incredibly talented athletes. She's a world championship in 6 different sports, world champion. She just put up one of the most impressive performances of all time at the Mountain and Trail World Championship this last September in Spain. Yeah. There she goes. Look at that.
Look at the
If
form.
a lay person were to be doing this race, it's just hard to compare how fit these athletes are, how hard this sport truly is. These people are, you know, max effort here, super high heart rate. That's what's so impressive about the transitions is, you know, liken it to running up 3 flights of stairs and sticking a key in the door and nailing it on the first try. That's how hard it is to do these transitions with your heart rate at max.
And also, too, just to not overcook yourself from the start, because you know when if you're the teams that are still trying to earn your quota, how hard is it to just say don't get out of control, don't overdo it off the start, because that's going to take you out towards the end. So just to be able to control your speed, control your stamina, that's not easy to do with everyone breathing down your neck.
That's right, and it looks like it's hard to know how fast Tove's setting this pace. We see Alba de Silvestro of Italy, making her way up through the course here. Ivana Janishik of Poland in second. Tatiana Paller, it looks like in fifth. Emma Cook-Clark of Canada here in fourth. They look to be moving. Look how steep this course is. It's quite steep. It's a very sustained grade the whole way through.
So USA has fallen off the top. She's moved into fifth, I think. Fifth, sixth place right now. So Sweden 1, Poland 2. To the transition area with Italy in third, Canada 4, Germany 5, and USA 6.
When you see how tight this transition area is, you can see how important the placing is of where they arrange themselves within the transition zone. They don't want to get cut off by anybody, blocked, or anything like that. So they're very thoughtful about where they line up in that transition zone.
And now to the gate section here. And you can see the turns are getting banked run by run. Every time they come down, you just see more banked walls around these gates. And a lot of fresh snow to deal with. You don't want to catch an edge there.
Tove's looking pretty smooth up in the front. Didn't see any passes on that descent.
And normally, you and I were talking about that, you don't see a lot of passes usually on the descents, right?
Not typically. That's pretty rare. At the Bormio test event, we saw some built-up berm turns that will, I think help facilitate. It is a beautiful course. Yeah. That should help facilitate, or help ensure perhaps more passing. But in this course, it would be very difficult to pass just because of the off-piste nature. Here, Alba de Silvestro moving into first place. She did that just on the transition alone.
Yeah, Sweden goes down to 2, Poland goes down to 3.
It's Ivana Janishik of Poland, Emma Cook-Clark of Canada.
And that fourth, USA still in that 6th spot.
This is tight. So the diamond section, difficult to pass on, but this is what they call the power zone. That's where it makes it a little easier to pass if they can.
You just got to reel them in. You got to keep that competitor in front of you. You got to keep them close. You don't want to let them get a big lead.
Yes, I believe Tove is setting that pace for the rest of the group. There you see Mariana Jakudzikova. She's one of the best, one of the most seasoned, established athletes for Slovakia.
So final A underway.
There we see Anna Gibson of the USA. She's really just hunting down Emma Cook-Clark, ECC of Canada.
You got to just stay with her. You can't let her get too far ahead.
No.
ECC's got the skills to pay the bills.
In the mixed relay, also, these women are thinking about the relative strength of their partners. So if they know they have a relatively stronger or weaker male counterpart, that makes a difference in how they feel like they need to perform. For example, Tove Alexandersson has maybe a slightly less experienced partner of Sweden. So she knows she's got to really go for it on her laps.
Yeah, if you know that you're the stronger or you're the anchor leg of your relay team, you know that you got to make up the difference.
This is so tight. These racers are so close together. Usually we see this a little more spread out for the women, but not in this case. They are all battling so hard. It's a great close-up of, boots and bindings. That transition may look simple, but I assure you it's not. Oh, look, a little.
Wait, was that Team Canada that got out in front on that?
That is. Emma Cook-Clark in first, Alba de Silvestro in second of Italy. I believe that was Tove Alexandersson got a little hung up on that transition, and like we talked about, that can just cost you a race, but certainly cost you some time.
Boy, how important would this be for Team Canada to hold on to this lead, trying to snag those quota spots? For North America, it's the battle between Canada and the U.S. ECC, definitely.
ECC, she is also a very experienced athlete, 32 years old, based in Canmore. She's a former cross-country racer, obstacle course racer, sky runner, I just mentioned Tove Alexanderson and Anna Gibson at the World and Trail Championships this past September. Emma Cook-Clark was also there, placed 10th in the uphill. So she's no joke. She is the real deal.
And she's showing you why she's the real deal with a nice big lead here.
Alba De Silvestro of Italy, hot on her heel. She's a fantastic downhill skier.
Oh, yeah, she's keeping it close. Look at this.
Very close. Alba's what we call a generalist in the sport, meaning across all disciplines, she's quite good. So some people specialize in the sprint or mixed relay, but someone like Alba or even Emma Cook-Clark, they're more generally, they just excel at all these disciplines, which is incredible to think about.
I like where she put herself for Team Italy in that transition zone on that little corner to push everyone off to the side.
There's Mariana Jegorchikova of Slovakia, Anna Gibson of the USA, Tatiana Poller of Germany. Here they are.
She's made up some time for Team USA.
That's right. There's Alba De Silvestro. It's the marriage partnership in action. Michele Boscacci taking it for the men, for the Italian man. Here he goes.
Here's Canada, going to be off second here.
That's Aaron Robson. He was training down in Chile to prepare for this race. He also just had knee surgery in May, so impressive to see him back in action.
There's the handoff, or the handover for USA. So USA has moved into the 4th spot. Italy number 1 right now. Germany in the 5th spot, Poland in the 6th spot. Once again, thanks for joining us out here, ISMF World Cup, Solitude Mountain.
Speaking of generalists, Michele Boscacci also, so strong in all these race formats, particularly even like longer course or individual disciplines. So
he's extra gear.
He's better at a long format race, but he has adapted and trained specifically, to succeed and perform in this mixed relay. A lot of these athletes they've had to, learn how to be a little bit faster, learn how to do the shorter format race, and they've done a really good job with it. Fun to see him leading this A final.
And the USA has moved up. It looks like USA and Canada, I think, are 2 and 3 right now. Maybe USA 3rd, Canada 2. We'll see the breakdown, but that's pretty close. Look at the fight there as they get to that transition spot here.
Yeah, this is still so tight. Look at these. These top 6 are all together. Remember, we're keeping our eye on Poland and Sweden, battling as well. It's really all they care about is that competitor to earn that quota spot. We know this is a World Cup, and the World Cup unto itself is so important, but really from being here and being around these athletes, the Olympics is very much on their minds right now.
100%.
Here we see Germany in 2nd, USA in 3rd, Canada in 4th, Slovakia in 5th. Just Tove Alexanderson getting ready for her 2nd lap, sorting those skins out. Michele Boscacci first into the transition zone, followed closely by Germany. That's Finn Hirsch. Michele, also a great skier, really talented. Finn Hirsch, a young athlete, 22 years old. He's primarily focused on the sprint and mixed relay. He's got a background in track and field. He was the U23 world champion in the sprint in 2023. 3-time German national champ in the sprint. So typically these athletes that perform in the sprint are also quite good at the mixed relay. This is so tight. There we see Cam Smith of the USA. Another very veteran, experienced athlete. Also, Jakub Skarnik of Slovakia. Oh, this is so tight. Cam Smith putting the heat on for the USA, challenging Michele Buscacci through the diamonds. So again, really difficult to pass here, but a bit easier to pass in this power zone in between the diamonds. Gosh, this is so tight. If you're wondering what athletes do in between their laps on the mixed relay, they actually have to be very intentional about how to handle that quote-unquote recovery. Not really much of any recovery at all. A lot of them hop on a stationary bike. That helps them keep their body warm, keep their mind fresh. They want to shuttle that lactate through their muscles, through their system, keep their muscles warm. It's a bit cold out here, a bit windy, so they're concentrated on doing what they need to do in between laps to make sure that they're poised to put up their best second lap. Here we see Cam Smith in first of the USA. Gosh, this is so fun to watch. On the foot part, here he goes. There we see Finn Hirsch, Michele Buscacci, Aaron Robson.
So about 14 minutes into it, Final A underway right now. A lot riding on this one, the mixed relay. 12 countries representing here in the A final.
Cam is really, Cam Smith really creating a bit of a lead for himself here. They were tight, but even just within that boot pack and transition, he's pulled ahead. Wanting to give his teammate Anna Gibson as much of an advantage as she could have. So
because she's also relatively new to it, so you do want to give her something just in case there's a mistake at a transition, right?
That's absolutely right. She's again, this is her first World Cup ever. She's hardly even raced domestically. It just speaks to how truly talented she is as an athlete.
Just crazy, because you think about the pressure riding on the quota spots. And it's her first World Cup, and you're competing. You're trying to get this quota spot. And you've not done this before.
That's right.
Wow. That's heavy.
That's very much on Cam Smith's mind at the moment.
He knows what needs to be done here. He knows.
He does.
The bigger the lead for him is going to be, the better for the chances for Team USA.
So this downhill, it's hard to see, but we mentioned this earlier, this undulating section coming up right here. It skis much harder than it might look. Could mess an athlete up. I haven't seen that today, and here we are right before the handoff.
So watch the transition here. Boom, that's one. Now to the second skin.
There's Finn Hirsch.
He's got two. He's locked in. And he's off. Wasting no time, no bobbles right there. Got to keep that lead. I think it was around 14 seconds. Handover 2 complete.
Anna Gibson's off. There we see Tatiana Poller waiting for her partner, Finn Hirsch, for Germany.
So if you're Gibson, what's the plan here? Just try to keep in that number 1 of that number 2 spot, right?
Really, her true task is staying ahead of Canada, but I'm guessing she's just focused on giving every single ounce she has right now. Probably trying to temper the effort and not go out too hot, but yeah, she's really got to gun it here.
How do you control yourself right there? The emotions are kicking in. You got one thought on your mind. Could this be the one chance for him?
Canada here's the handoff.
And look, Canada's down in 4th right now, so they got to make up some ground to try and challenge the USA.
That's right. 38 seconds back from the USA.
That's a big number right there.
It is, though. Emika Clark, ECC, I wouldn't count her out.
Is that her official nickname now, is ECC?
Yes, ECC is what we're rolling with. It's just too good. We can't not use it.
Yeah, and that's the one thing about that. You can feel as confident as you want, but you know that with ECC still behind you, that you're not safe. You're not safe in that number 1 spot.
No, although she does have a fairly big gap here. We'll see what happens.
You got to keep it. You got to hold it. There's ECC we see in that 4th spot right there.
To see the USA leading a final A in the mixed relay, this is, uncharted territory. We've never seen this before. They've never even done better. I don't believe any better than 10th place. So this is unbelievable to be watching. They're on their home turf. With France and Spain not entering a team, it really mixes it up to see who could possibly win, who could podium. We see Germany in second.
But even if they did enter a team, it's all about finishing better than the country you're battling, right? So if you're USA, Canada, if you're USA in fourth and Canada fifth, you get that spot.
That's right. That's right. But just in general.
Yeah.
Speaking World Cup, speaking what's been done historically, this is unprecedented and so fun to see. Same with Germany in second. Some of these nations, we don't see them up at the front as much, but here we do.
And I think the popularity, of course, of SkiMo is growing. So you're going to see more and more of that. I think as time continues, we'll see more talented athletes. We already have so many talented SkiMo athletes, but this is also turning it on to other future SkiMo athletes who are looking at this going, wait, I can do this.
Sure, absolutely. That Olympic inclusion has really, turned the tide, especially in nations where it's less popular. It's well established in Europe, especially Western Europe, but other nations like China, the U.S., Japan, Korea, we're seeing far more interest in this sport.
Okay, here we go. Transition, watch her closely. Remove one. Little mess up on the second one, but she's got a good lead. She's going to stuff that in the pack, grab the poles. Time for some downhill.
With this evolution of the mixed relay, we've seen more and more work to specialize their race suits. So they have these very specific pockets for their skins to make them as easy as possible to put on. And then again, they take those discarded skins, put them in that kangaroo pocket. So in a long format race or an individual race, they take the time to fold the skins and put them away because they'll use them again. But in the mixed relay, they have 3 sets of skins that, they use them once and then they go in that kangaroo pocket.
So you just wad them up.
Yeah. They don't have to use them again. They figured out the fastest way to do this. There's Alba de Silvestro of Italy. Looks to be in third place.
36.4 off the top pace for USA. Canada in the 4th spot. 57, almost a full minute off that top time. Switzerland in 5th.
So looks that Anna Gibson has put a little time on Emma Cook-Clark. Just like Cam Smith, or Aaron Robson, trying to give their partners as much time as possible. Same for these women, for the men in the last lap.
Okay, no problems there. Solid in the transition. She's off.
Anna Gibson she has an alpine ski background, and she also has a Nordic background. So she really was teed up quite well to excel at this sport, even though she's brand new. There's Mariana Jekajikova of Slovakia. She is one of the most seasoned, experienced athletes out on the World Cup circuit right now. She's a geologist. How cool is that? She's also a mountain guide. Incredible.
The downhill sections, keeping it tight to the gates. Yeah, we talk about the ruts, we talk about the grooves. Because of the fresh snow, does make it a little bit difficult, and also the weight of the skis. They don't handle the tundra and all the extra snow. Doesn't help.
They're designed to be lightweight, primarily because they're spending most of their time on the uphill. So weight is, of course, critical. There are specifications how much their skis have to weigh. Again, we talked about that, but about the weight of a cross-country ski, it's incredible to boot the weight of a running shoe. I mean, can you imagine?
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Next transition.
Anna's heading into the boot pack.
She was faster on that transition that time.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For just starting the sport 6 months ago, I'd say that's pretty good.
It is funny watching some of them outside the hotel yesterday, just practicing transitions.
Absolutely.
Just out in the middle of nowhere, just transition practice.
Yeah,
Love to see it.
In a season, these athletes put in, hundreds, if not maybe getting into 1,000 repetitions of these transitions. They're so critical to perform. They have to be flawless. Putting your skis on your back in 4 seconds. It's incredible watching how fast they do this stuff.
And to do it when you're tired. It's one thing doing the transition your first 1 or 2, that's fine. But as you've gone through the day, that gets harder and harder, doesn't it?
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, their heart rate is completely maxed. It is so challenging to execute this flawless type of transition. And, at this top level, we rarely see them mess up, but even just the slightest hesitation or error can cost them. So,
Can cost you positions, and in this case, it could cost you a quota spot.
Absolutely.
Like, I hate to say it, but that is a big deterring factor that you do not want to happen. Like, it's all riding on you.
Here we see Anna looking a bit tired. This is where we suspect they should be tired here, right? This is basically the end of their last lap. She's done what she needed to do for Team USA, just giving it her all right now. She just has a descent, one more transition, and then tags off to Cam Smith in the handover area.
Oh, she's got to feel good about this right here. Put him in. Stuffs him in that pocket, grabs the poles, and then off. 23:13.5 is the time so far for Team USA in search of a quota spot.
Again, unprecedented to see USA winning in a final. This has never happened before.
No mistakes.
So
here.
exciting.
You can see the legs shaking too, the thighs and the knees shaking on every turn, because the stamina is kicking in right now. You're tired. You just got to hold it together.
Here's Cam Smith in the handoff zone, getting ready to tag his partner, Anna Gibson.
Boy, love how Team USA is going to be happy to have Cam as their anchor right now to be able to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, Italy in second. No surprise there with Alba De Silvestro and Michele Boscacci. Tatiana Poller headed out.
Cam waiting for his time. Oh, a little bobble on that skin right there.
It's a lot of pressure.
Oh,
a lot of pressure right there.
We're saying that too because you've already been racing the whole day.
She knows she is done for the day. It's totally up to Cam Smith.
Oh, that's got to feel good.
This is so exciting,
but that little bobble could cost her 10 seconds, 15 seconds.
Oh,
Cam wants to hear it.
He wants some cheers. He needs those cheers.
How can you even be worried about the crowd at this point? He is amazing.
Cam Smith podiumed in the vertical in 2022 in Andorra. That was one of the first American podiums we've seen. So, he's had his eyes on the Olympics since the inclusion was announced. This is his moment to make that dream happen.
I mean, the way this looks right now, I don't see how, unless there's a massive mistake, that's a 40-second lead over Team Italy right now for USA.
Yes.
That's a big lead.
That is a big lead.
Especially for a guy like Cam, right?
Do you think Cam would be more aerodynamic if he shaved that beard? What do you think? He doesn't need to. He's got 40 seconds, so.
But would he have a 42-second lead without that beard?
Maybe we'll find out in Milano Cortina, as it's looking like the USA will secure that podium spot. We don't know for sure that quota spot.
We still got a lap here.
They've got 1 minute 9 seconds on Canada.
Yeah.
As far as the battle between Poland and Sweden, it looks like Poland's ahead. We'll see how the splits pan out.
So the battle is Canada, USA, and then Poland and Sweden, right?
Absolutely. Yep. That's what we're really watching here. I mean, it's fun to watch all these teams, but those last two quota spots are what we really care about watching this mixed relay.
I mean, you do care about the positioning, first place, second place, third place for the podium later. But, I mean, look, there's a lot up for grabs here. And being that it's just, you couldn't script it better in a movie the way this is going down. Quota spots up for grabs, 4 countries battling for them. First time on U.S. snow. First time it's made its way to the Olympics.
Yes.
One of the highest elevations to be at.
We see Finn Hirsch here gaining a bit of time on Michele Boscacci, though. Hard to tell. Michele looked back. Cam's parents are here to watch, his sister here to cheer him on. Lots of young racers here watching their heroes. Oh, yeah, crowd. That's so fun to see.
You got to keep that lead. He's got to get up there, have a smooth transition right now. Even though you may have a big lead, solid on removing the skins right there for the downhill. That was fast. So now, once again, no mistakes during these gates. Stay nice and close. Stay low on the – you don't want to get up on those walls, those ruts that have developed throughout the day. Stay tight, keep the speed going, and no mistakes.
Will be interesting to see the splits at the top of this first summit. This is the men's final lap. We're almost, this is towards the end of this A final. So exciting to see.
This is it.
That's a pretty solid gap, 48 seconds between the U.S. and Italy. Germany right there, 2 seconds back from Italy.
Yeah, it's all about where's Canada at this point. It's got to be over a minute back. So USA looking like they're large and in charge here. Fourth place, 1:07 back for Switzerland in fourth.
And don't worry, we are keeping our eye on Poland and Sweden. We'll see those splits when they get pulled up. In this sport, athletes used to glide a bit more, but the sport has gotten so fast. They essentially just run on their skis the entire time.
Yeah, I think we talked about that a couple days ago. So it was more gliding than now with the athletes being in the condition they are. You're seeing more running now, right?
That's right. And with this course being a bit steeper, if it's lower angle, we'll see more athletes gliding on their skis, more like a proper cross-country technique. But with this course being quite steep, relatively steep, we see this kind of quick cadence jog. But the athleticism it takes and the fitness it takes to be literally running up a mountain, it's just hard. These are some of the fittest people on the planet. Yeah. They really are.
Running up a mountain when there's multiple chairlifts that could get you up there.
Yeah.
So he's almost at the 30 mark. Cam looking solid. Style, the cadence, doesn't look like he's laboring at all. His transitions have been amazing.
Looks like Finn Hirsch passing Michele Buscacci, Germany in second, Italy in third, Switzerland in fourth.
And where did Team Canada go in this mix here?
There's Aaron Robson right there in fifth.
That's a tough ask to try and get up to that position now. As you look at Cam through the foot section, just driving through it. At the 30-minute mark. Look how casual and flips the skis down. And just right back at it. No mistakes, clean.
No, this is the moment Cam has been dreaming of. This is what he's been preparing for all summer, all fall. All these athletes, even years have gone into this day, this race. Cam knows that. He knows he's got to perform here. But he really doesn't want to make any mistakes. Doesn't want to get a fall on the descent.
You're just taking the whole country on your back. It's okay. It's not a very big country, the old USA, right? Just put it all on your back and put it all up to you to earn some quota spots.
This is the second summit of his final lap. He's got one more descent, one transition into the finish area. This is unbelievable to see the United States winning an A final. We miss France, we miss Spain. They're our buddies here in SkiMo, but fun to see what happens when the best of the best aren't here to be performing in this final.
No mistake here. Here we go. Team USA towards the bottom, trying to earn a quota spot for the Olympics in Milan. What a day it has been. Cam on the right.
This is unbelievable. So fun.
He's got to transition out of this one. There's a look from the overhead. Cam trying to finish things off. 32 minutes so far.
Oh, here it is.
Here it is.
Oh, no!
He pops the ski.
Oh, Cam.
He's got to put it back on and get going.
Luckily, he's got a big enough gap.
Okay.
There
we go. USA in the #1 spot, crossing first, a 32-17. Team USA taking the win unofficially right now.
I have no words. Anna Gibson, brand new to the sport. Cam Smith, a veteran, has put his heart into this sport. It's really emotional just watching these athletes finish this.
So now the battle is for the 2 spot, the 3 spot, the 4, the 5. Who is going to come into the number 2 spot? USA has cinched the deal in the number 1 spot, 32-17.
Here we have Finn Hirsch of Germany.
Here we go, Germany crossing in the number 2 spot. So Germany collapsing. That's earning a spot on the podium. Here we go in the background. That's going to be Italy coming across too as well. So Italy, USA 1, Italy, Germany in the 2 spots.
I believe Germany in 2nd, Italy in 3rd. Here's Arno Lieta of Switzerland in 4th.
Switzerland checks in. But wait a minute, where is Sweden?
So USA has secured that continental quota spot for the Olympics.
And here we go. That's going to be Norway in the number 5 spot. And then Poland. Looks like Poland's going to do it in the 6th spot. Canada will come in 7th.
So Poland did it. Poland got that general ranking quota spot as far as I know. Unless I'm missing something.
So it's unofficial at this point, but it looks like Poland will grab that spot. USA will grab that spot.
Look at these athletes. They are so maxed, so excited. Unbelievable.
All came down to this one, the final one to earn the spots. There's Sweden coming in the 8th spot, so that means unofficially Poland will grab that, and so will the USA. What a day. Slovakia 9, China in the number 10 spot. As we wrap things up here.
Poland, that's Ivana Janishik, Jan Elemtovsky, worked so hard for this. Really exciting to see. Again, that's unofficial, but as far as we understand, they have secured that general ranking quota spot for the Olympics.
And that would be the first USA win, right, for relay, right?
Oh, absolutely. You know, like I said, I don't think they've even, I believe their best finish may be 10th. So to win is just, I don't think anyone would have predicted that, frankly.
But to do it on USA snow as well, Nikki.
Yeah.
So
you know, you do wonder how much the altitude plays an advantage. You know, perhaps for Canada and USA, they're more accustomed to that.
And it's not like Utah just got to this altitude. It's been this way forever.
That's true.
So it's like you know when you're coming here to compete. I don't care where you're competing at. Whether it's Deer Valley, Park City, Solitude, doesn't matter. You're going to deal with altitude.
Here we see Slovenia wrapping up their final race. We do know these teams did do a lot of high altitude prep.
Yeah.
The Italians went to Cervinia. You know, they were thoughtful about that. Spain went on the Stelvio in the Alps. Germany headed to a high altitude area of Austria. So I think, you know, I even heard people were using hyperbaric chambers to make sure they were prepared for this altitude. So, I mean, these are pros.
When I was part of the Salt Lake Olympic Games in 2002, you heard the stories in all competitors. All of them were training in altitude because they knew the Olympics were going to be in Salt Lake and they needed to deal with it. So anytime Japan in that 11th spot, crossing 257.3. And our final competitor on course.
This A final was as exciting as I thought it would be. What'd you think, Brad?
I thought it was absolutely exciting from start to finish. And I thought it was going to be more of a battle for USA to try and secure that spot with Canada. And when Canada started out, you know, in those top positions, I was thinking, oh, this could be trouble. But USA stayed with it. And they'll earn the quota spots.
And we know Emma Cook-Clark of Canada, Erin Robson gave it their all. Such talented athletes, very invested athletes. This has been on their minds and on their hearts just as much as the USA. So unbelievable results. Same with Poland and Sweden.
Yeah, Gibson's got to feel pretty good about that. I mean, you're coming in your first World Cup, and it's all the pressure's on you. I mean, Cam's used to that kind of pressure, but was Anna used to that kind of pressure. No.
You know, not in this context. Certainly in the trail running world,
Sure.
she knows how
Yeah.
to manage pressure. But you're right. I mean, this is her first World Cup ever. And she is competing to participate or have her nation earn a quota spot. I mean, you're right. That is, I can't think of what would, have more pressure than a situation like that.
How about Cam kicking off that ski at the end for a little more drama?
Yeah. Good thing he had a good margin there. Here we have us.
And Slovenia finishing up
I
right
think
there.
that was we are wrapped up with our A final.
Well, that will do it on that one. So congratulations to all the competitors. Big ups to USA for making that happen, earning that spot.
Today we had 24 nations, at this World Cup, 24 nations represented. Today, 29 teams. And a fun fact is we're seeing more and more women.
I love
more fun facts. More and more women are participating in the sport. And sign up for the sprint tomorrow. We have almost as many women as we do men.
Like to see that field being even. That's nice.
That's right. But as far as the Olympics are concerned, just in case we weren't clear, USA obtaining the continental quota spot for the Americas, and Poland obtaining the quota spot for that general ranking in the mixed relay.
And that's 2 athletes, right? So Poland can put forth 2 athletes to compete. USA can now put forth 2 athletes to compete.
That's
Who
right.
those 2 athletes are is going to be up to the governing bodies, right?
It's not necessarily the governing body. It's actually the National Olympic Committee, often in accordance with their federation.
The U.S. National Olympic Committee, right?
Yes, USOPC
Yes, yeah.
in the case of the U.S. and any respective Olympic committee. Here's our results.
Well, it's official like a referee's whistle. United States has earned a spot. There you go. They get the number 1 spot. Italy, number 2. Switzerland, 3. Germany, 4. Norway, 5. Poland earning a couple spots as well in that number 6 spot, with Canada 7. Sweden 8, Slovakia, China, Japan, and Slovenia rounding out the 12. So I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have here. ISMF World Cup Solitude. Hopefully we'll catch up with our winners and get a word with them. And that'll all be coming up. And we'll run some highlights too as well. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Stay with us. More coming up here in the ISMF. Some interviews on the way. So stay with us for more action here. We'll keep things going at the ISMF World Cup right here from Solitude Mountain. We'll be back with more. And there it is, the podium. We'll get underway here. What an amazing day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, come
incredible day.
Representing Italy.
This is a day
Are
the
these
sport's been waiting for.
What are these gift baskets, Nikki? What do we got going
I
here?
don't even know what's in there. Those are some nice flowers, though.
And that's the camaraderie right there. Look, Italy coming in, talking to third place, grabbing their spot on the podium.
You know these teams are so psyched. They're on the podium.
I feel like when they go on the podium, they give them too much stuff to carry.
Yeah, look at all that. They're tired. They're
Here's
very
a suitcase.
tired.
Here's this. Here's a kitchen sink.
Switzerland, no stranger to the podium, but
Yeah.
for Italy to be on the podium, USA, that is very fun to see.
And Italy be on the podium ahead of the Olympics in February. That's a big statement right there.
You bet. Host nation, really happy to see this result.
And I've always said that, look, this will be my 9th Olympics coming up, and you always really want the host nations to do good. I think it's good for all the sports in general. And there's Team USA, the final quota spots have been earned, and they will grab their rightful location in first place.
Incredible. Here's our podium, mixed relay.
Wow.
First World Cup of the season.
You weren't confident that they were going to get that #1 spot, were you?
No, it was a coin toss as far
I know
as
you
I'm
weren't,
concerned.
because you said that to me.
Yeah, absolutely. It was anyone's race.
I mean, coming into it, I was like, well, USA has got a really good shot. And then after meeting up with you and talking to you about it, like how serious it really was, I was like, well, maybe they don't have that shot. So
No, it was not obvious. I don't think to anybody.
Captain Obvious was not here for that one.
So this result, so exciting for the USA. So exciting for Poland. I mean, this is massive for them to have these quota spots.
And it's also so exciting for SkiMo in the USA as well, too. It's like that helps build it stronger in the United States as well by getting podiums and saying, okay, wait a minute, they're the real deal. Boy, Anna Gibson still, though, just from her first World Cup to the podium.
Yeah.
Where do you go from there, Nikki?
I don't know. I can't imagine being that talented. I truly can't.
Right?
Must be exhausting being so good at so many sports.
How do you keep it all together, right? Well, it's been an absolutely beautiful day. The snow parted ways just in time for competition today. It was whiteout. It was literally whiteout conditions this morning at about 9:30 a.m. You couldn't see the top of the course.
Snowed 30 centimeters last night. For that, there was no snow here.
There was not a lot.
So weather really keeping the local organizing committee on their toes.
Well, and that's the thing. When you schedule events early December, anywhere, whether it's Colorado or it's Utah, you take that chance. It could be, you just never know when the winter is going to start. But I think it's officially kicked off here at Solitude.
Yes, the SkiMo gods bless Solitude with some snow. There's Anna Gibson.
Well, God's a fan of SkiMo. We know that. He cleaned it up for us.
Cam Smith, that is quite the grin. He's gonna be grinning for quite some time.
Someone give him a backpack for all that stuff. Well, the one thing we're going to want to do is hear from our winners out there today, because we want to see what they went through. So hopefully we get a chance here in a little bit to get a word from them as we wrap things up.
And we'll just mentioning to our audience, we'll be back tomorrow for the sprint. We'll see a lot more athletes at the sprint. France and Spain are here. We'll see our top French and Spanish athletes.
All right, well, we're going to send things downstairs and see if we can get a word with the winners. Let's send it downstairs right now.
Anna Gibson, Cam Smith, an historic victory here in the US in Solitude for the first mixed relay of the season. But not only this, the tickets to the Olympics. Anna, your first World Cup race and a winning.
Yeah, this whole thing is crazy. It feels like a dream.
How it was your race today, competing at home with many supporters?
Oh, there are so many friends here. It was amazing. Even people that I don't know, just friends, friends of friends from Salt Lake and teammates, families. It was just a lot of energy out there.
Cam Smith, it is dreams that come true, big dreams that come true. Winning here at home and taking the tickets to the Olympic Winter Games in Milano Cortina in February.
Yeah, it's a dream for me, and it's a dream for all the people here and everyone that supports us and everyone that's ever supported us. And we were just kind of we were carrying the torch for all of them, and we were just the medium for all those dreams. And we just wanted to come through for all the people that love us, and we're glad to share this win with all of them.
Thank you, and today is the day of celebration.
That's right.
Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
Christine, you have please announce that there will be still the award ceremony.
Yes. It was a request of Sarah. Okay.
Was there ever anything?
Well, that is going to wrap things up. I mean, Nikki, final thoughts on what we witnessed here today with quota spots on the line?
Oh, just how incredible the day was. So psyched for the USA and Poland. Been waiting for this day. It was great to watch. And we'll be back tomorrow.
We'll be back tomorrow with more action for you. Thanks for joining us. ISMF World Cup, the mixed relay in the books, and USA earning the final quota spots as well as Poland. That's going to do it. On behalf of Nikki and Brad J., thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow.